I would like to inform you, Stephen, that the rain in Spain falls mostly on the plain. Were you aware?
I was actually not. I didn't know that. So you're a public defender,
I am.
and that's what you want to do.
That is what I want to do.
It's not a pit stop on the way to, corporate law or defending against what do you call them? The big ones, the really big ones, where there are lots and lots of plaintiffs.
Class action suits?
Yeah.
Or perhaps shareholder derivative suits, one of the two.
So it's not like a pit stop on the way to defending corporations against class action suits.
Ideally, no. Ideally, it's a pit stop on the way to retirement and death. As most jobs are.
But you could make a lot more money doing something else lawyerly. You do have the training. Where did you graduate?
I graduated from Harvard Law. Yeah.
So you do have the potential to make a lot more money than you're making right now.
Yeah, I actually just heard from one of my colleagues that the starting salary for Boston Associates is now $160,000, which is actually more than judges in the state of Massachusetts make.
And how much money do you make right now?
Just shy of 50 grand.
So you could be making almost triple what you make right now at a starting salary at Boston Associates.
More than triple.
So why aren't you doing that?
Well, I have a sense of what corporate and private law is like for an associate in a large law firm, and I don't think I'm too far off the mark. I think what it is essentially sitting in a 14th story windowless room, pushing paper and doing the same job that a paralegal does, being berated and abused constantly by senior partners, being expected to put in 80, 90, 100-hour work weeks on a regular basis. I mean, some law firms even go so far as to have their own dry cleaning services and cafeterias so that you don't ever have to leave the office building. And essentially, at the end of the day, you'd be pushing paper for some faceless corporate client who doesn't really give a shit if anybody lives or dies, and is essentially buying their way through the system, and may not actually have a real legitimate claim. They might just be throwing their stacks of paper against some other corporation's stacks of paper and clogging up the entire judicial system, so that normal people like you and me don't have access to it. I think that would be unsatisfying on pretty much every level. Also, Harvard is paying back my loans if I continue to have this crappy job.
So there is a financial incentive there for you, as well as a moral incentive.
Absolutely. The financial incentive is more, this is something that you do not have to worry about, more than maximizing your income. Because at the end of the day, the $15,000 a year of loan forgiveness, or whatever it turns out to be, is a drop in the bucket compared to the 3 times starting salary that you mentioned. So.
And you would rather have that kind of job satisfaction than more money?
I definitely would, although I have to say that criminal law, especially as a public defender, the job satisfaction is a very strange term that needs to be dissected very carefully. I hate every single individual aspect of my job. I hate dealing with clients. I hate dealing with prosecutors. I hate dealing with judges. I hate wearing a suit and tie 5 days a week. I hate sitting in court listening to people ramble on and on about things I don't care about. But when you put all those things together, somehow I like what I do. I really can't explain it. It must be that intangible that's not any of those things that suffuses the rest with meaning and vitality, I guess.
Is there anything that you've learned from your life this far that maybe you'd want to impart to your children or future generations? Something that you've taken from your life that's important to pass on?
Well, if there's anything I'm going to tell my children, it's that shit happens, condoms break. But in lieu of actually passing anything on to my children, which I hope never to have, I would say that the biggest lesson that I could possibly hope to teach someone is that the overwhelming majority of problems caused by the human race are caused by people squandering the natural gifts that they have. And I'm not talking about if you're really good at basketball or if you're really good at math or anything like that, no. Because people are able to fully exploit those gifts and yet still royally fuck everything up. The gifts that I'm speaking about are the ability to analyze the world clinically and rationally and logically, and to have an interior monologue that allows you to dissect the world in a way that makes sense. If you pause and you think, and you're able to divorce your animalistic instincts and urges and all the little lies that you tell yourself from the reality that's staring you in the face, then you will find, I think, if you put enough effort into it, that you'll be able to have an ethos, something beyond a moral compass, something beyond a gut instinct. You'll be able to have a set of principles that even if you don't fail to live up to them every single day, you will know what is right and you will know what is wrong, and you will not royally cock things up nearly as badly as most of the rest of the people in the world. Sadly, with that realization also comes the realization that 95% of the world is going to continue cocking things up royally and are basically going to blithely and ignorantly coast their way through life, making your life miserable, surely because you've gained this extra awareness. So your life's going to be a living hell, but at least you will be in the right, and you will be able to have the very, very hollow moral victory of trying to abide by a set of principles that you can live with. So yeah, my best advice to anybody coming into this world would be pick door number 2, whatever it may be. Because we gone done fucked this one up real bad.
Okay. Is there anything that you've said that you'd prefer that I didn't use on the internet